It comes quite naturally to me in that sense, but it does take quite a bit of planning. I'll be sitting there for like half the day brainstorming, how can I make this funny? You realize that you do have to put your stamp on the content and the brief that you're given to really sell it to the audience, you know. This is like quite funny actually, because I tend to show my mum the final product. For example, I show it to my mum, and if she laughs at it, I'll be like, all right, you know what, this is good enough to go out to the rest of the nation. So yeah, I guess the sillier the better on TikTok, or the more relatable the better, you know.
How did you end up being in the show? How was life before Love Island and after Love Island?
Yeah.
Something that we have been discussing a lot here with our team and also with our clients, to start creating campaigns as a form of co-creation.
I absolutely love that idea, honestly.
Hi, welcome to our third episode of Influencer Marketing Uncover, MG Empowers podcast. Today I'm so excited and thrilled to have a very special guest that will be talking with us about the importance of being authentic when it comes to create content on social media. So he will be telling us how does he find a way to create content for brands of lifestyle and fashion that can resonate, but still have his own touch and his own authenticity in there. Alex, so happy to have you here with us today. Tell the audience, who is our special guest today?
Hi, Myra. I'm so excited to be co-hosting the podcast today again. I'm actually recording from Bulgaria, which shows that we really are a global influencer marketing agency. I'm so excited to be joined by our guest today, who's one of the leading content creators on both Instagram and TikTok in the UK. He gained popularity through being one of the contestants of the most popular reality show in the UK, Love Island, and has grown his audience after leaving Love Island to become a really strong and loyal following. He has worked with brands such as Deliveroo, Stars Play, and Bumble, amongst others. I'm so excited to be joined by our guest, who's an extremely fun and energetic person, introducing Nas Majeed.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be getting this podcast going with you guys.
Amazing, Nas. So happy to have you here with us. Thank you again for joining us. And how are you? How have you been?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I'm really good, you know, as good as one can be during lockdown, you know, still creating content, still trying to put a smile on people's faces. But yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you very much.
That's good. So Nas, today we really wanted to talk to you and go really in depth about, you know, the importance of like being authentic when it comes to create content, because more and more, especially us as an agency of influencer marketing, working with so many different brands from different industry and different segments, the importance of being authentic, the importance of still having the briefing of a campaign, but getting the briefing and developing from that idea your own concept to make sure that the content will resonate in the most authentic form. So what I wanted to ask you first is, like, we can see that your social media content, your persona is very different from the persona that was portrayed on the reality TV. So how was that, you know, change comes? And how do you feel yourself now when it comes to creating authentic content versus when you left the reality TV show?
That's a good question, because I think obviously after going on to reality TV, myself, I was a very private person before going on the show. I never really used to post, never made content in my life, you know, just finished university, was very into football and that was my career path basically. And as I said, like being propelled into the limelight and then having to create content. At first, I won't lie, I was very robotic. You know, you get a script, as you said, you get a brief, and you know, you just go off what the company says and you read off all the bullet points, say, yeah, it does this, this, this. Very boring, very like monotone. But I think as time has gone on, you know, you realize that you do have to put your stamp on the content and the brief that you're given to really sell it to the audience, you know. And I think brands come to you because, so for example, in my case, brands came to me because they saw me as like a fun person. They saw me as like a funny person. Even when I was on like the reality TV show, Love Island, I came across as like the funny person. So I think brands saw that and wanted, were hoping that I'd make funny content or like just fun, make it positive, make it happy. So I think since leaving the villa, I've just learned to be a lot more myself. And it was my girlfriend, funnily enough, that said to me, Naz, you sound like you don't sound like yourself. You just sound like a robot when you're reading it off. I'm addressing the cameras. So guys, da 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 da. And it just wasn't like, it wasn't me. But I think, as I said, as time's gone along, you kind of, it's more trial and error, really, I'd say. You see what the audience likes. And as you guys have pointed out, I have worked with some great brands such as Bumble, Stars Play, Deliveroo. So I guess I must be doing something. I'm starting to do something right, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Going from that, as you mentioned, you're someone that's very fun, very energetic, and that's authentic to you. So the question is, when creating content and conveying that fun nature of yours, does that come easy to you, or is it something that takes like a lot of practice, preparation, and also scripting in order for you to create content in that way?
I think once I'm given a brief, I really do enjoy this part of content creation. I really do enjoy because you're given a brief and you try to make it your own. You try to own it. You try to put your own stamp on what they've given you. So I think it comes quite naturally to me in that sense, but it does take quite a bit of planning. So as in, I'll be sitting there for like half the day brainstorming. How can I make this funny? What would people like to see? And I'll tell you what, this is like quite funny actually, because I tend to show my mum the final product. So if it's a video, for example, I'll show it to my mum, and if she laughs at it, I'll be like, all right, you know what? This is good enough to go out to the rest of the nation. So if she doesn't laugh, I know I've done something wrong. So yeah.
That's a good process. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you in terms of like, do you have a creative process that you go through from like receiving the brief to brainstorming and then to creating? Do you have kind of like a ritual of how the content creation process looks like?
Yeah, shall I tell you what? I'm very, what's the word? Very like snappy when it comes to, well, I like to do it as soon as I get a brief. I like to read it over thoroughly, make sure I know what to incorporate, then sit down, write a few notes. I'll write like a page of notes. Yeah. Just so I can include, like, know what to include, know what to say. And I'm such a perfectionist as well. It's awful because if I say one word, if I say one word wrong, I'll refilm it again. And then, as I said, I'll show it to my mum at the end. And if she laughs, then I've got the green light to post it. So yeah.
Definitely.
Amazing. And how, like, when you're working with brands, like as you said, like Stars Plays, Deliveroo, and Bumble, which is like all the campaigns that you have created, fun content for the three of them that resonate really well with your audience, but also resonate really well with the brand fit. So that fun element is something that is very authentic to you, right? So for you, you would when you create fun content, is because it's who you are, and do you feel that this is the best way to get the authenticity out there?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've always just been very positive, very seen the world through rose-tinted glasses, always wanted to put a smile on people's face. Like, I'm very like drama-free in the sense I just want to make people laugh. As long as people are happy, as long as I'm happy, then that's the main thing. I think, especially with the content you create, it's not necessarily, just what the brand wants from you, it's what you want to portray of yourself as well. Because obviously if I'm posting that to my social media, or if I'm posting that for Bumble and then they're reposting it, I want people to then see it and say, oh, you know what, Naz, he's a funny guy, he's fun, he's made it interesting, he's made it bubbly, he's made it energetic. So that's what I love about the brands that have approached me, or the ones that you've mentioned, because it's always been a very fun brief, and they've been very willing to work with me, very supportive and working with me to create a fun kind of campaign, really.
And then, like, in terms of Instagram and TikTok, because now you're very active on TikTok, which is amazing. Your content there, it's fun, it's engaging, it makes us really, really laugh. So how are you find the way of, like, the way you create content on Instagram versus the way you're creating on TikTok, and maintaining the authenticity in both? Because the both channels, they are very different, right? And they have a different audience. On TikTok, we're talking more about the young generation, the audience that is looking to content that that actually will make them laugh, that will make them, having a fun time of looking on social. And then as for Instagram, it's a little bit different from TikTok, and also the audience there, it's not the same. So how do you kind of, when it comes to create content for both channels, what is your creative process and how to keep authenticity on both?
Shall I tell you what? First of all, I absolutely love TikTok. I can't lie. It's awful, but I absolutely love TikTok. Because as you said, I feel like the audience is very engaging, very fun, and at the same time, it's very easy to go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
For example, I'll get X amount of views on Instagram story, but then on TikTok, I'm close to 1 million on a couple videos.
Amazing.
Again, it's all just it's very fun on TikTok. But I feel like on my Instagram stories, it's just me in my everyday life, just being fun, being silly, being just kind of letting people in on the real me. But I guess the pictures that you post they tend to be a little bit more cool, a little bit more like, once in a while, this is what I'm up to, this is who I'm working with. Whereas TikTok is just me being a clown on a regular basis, really. So, but I do love TikTok.
Amazing. And then on TikTok, Nas, so when you started on TikTok and how was your process of, when was the momentum that you said, okay, so TikTok is there, I need to explore this platform. So how and when you decided to go to the platform, and then when you realized that TikTok was a platform that could give you that awareness, that, as you said, that can get a content that go viral of 1 million views, because I think this is the beauty of TikTok, right? So if you create a very engaging, fun and authentic content, if the For You page saw your content and feel that is resonating and engaging with, with the audience on the platform, your content goes viral. So tell me that, how your TikTok journey has started, because there's a lot of influencers that worked with us that they're not on TikTok yet, so they're very attached to Instagram, and they always come to us and say, okay, but if I go to TikTok, which type of content I have to post? How do I create? How different I have to be from Instagram? So it would be good to hear your advice for creators that are not yet on the platform, and discuss a little bit how you started.
Yeah, so I was advised to start TikTok. Obviously, after coming off the reality TV show, I was advised to start TikTok. But like a lot of people, I was like, that platform isn't for me. I don't know why, because it's so fun. So I don't know why I didn't just start straight away, but it took a bit of convincing. And I think it was because of the first lockdown. I was thinking to myself, well, there's three major platforms, I'd say: Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And my girlfriend was doing YouTube and Instagram, and I feel like we were kind of just missing out on that TikTok element. So I was like, let me start it up. Started doing a dance battle with one of the other islanders as well, and it got really good views. And I was like, people, or the audience on TikTok, again, it's all just about having fun, just relatability, or especially in my bubble, it's all just very supportive, very fun, very silly. No one takes themselves too seriously. But again, it did take a lot of convincing for me to actually start on TikTok. But as you said, once you get going, you do. I guess for me, I've been lucky in the sense that I did come from the reality TV show, so you kind of have the platform on Instagram to say, right, follow me on TikTok. People know me as a fun guy, so they naturally want to see fun content. But I guess if you're just starting out, I'd say find a niche. Just trial and error. With all social media, it is quite a lot to do with trial and error. So yeah, I think that would be my main advice. Authenticity, find a niche, trial and error, and just be yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's why people want to follow you. I think the annoying thing about TikTok is I will spend ages. There was one video I did a Kevin Hart impression. It took me probably about over an hour to film, and it got minimal views, minimal engagement. There was another video I took. I flipped the camera. It was on my girlfriend, while she's doing her makeup. I flipped it back on me, and it was like a trend. That's the one that's almost hit 1 million. It literally took me 5 seconds to film.
Wow.
And it's almost hit 1 million. But the other one that took me over an hour to film got me absolutely nowhere. So yeah, I guess the sillier the better on TikTok, or the more relatable, the better. You know, even like with my gaming content, for example, if I put headphones on and have my PS4 controller and, you know, just talk about the dramas between, you know, your girlfriend versus your PS4 and who's going to win, that gets like 500,000, 800,000, 900,000 views. But like I said, like you do something that you think would be funny and it just, it doesn't
And
take
it
off.
doesn't
So,
take off.
yeah.
So you mentioned about what your advice for creators would be, and I believe that up-and-coming creators can learn a lot from you, from even working with brands and also how to create content and how to find like your authentic voice. So if you were to name, let's say, 5 things that you would advise to up-and-coming creators to do, involve not just limiting it to content creation, but also working with brands, what would you say?
I would say, first of all, as I said, you know, authenticity, try and find your niche. You know, try to find what works for you, try to see what's engaging. As I said, like for me personally, it's a lot of trial and error. You know, some videos take off, some don't. But the beauty of TikTok is if one video, you know, flies off the rails and whatnot, if it does really well, then you can go viral. I think posting every day as well is a very key one, because I know a couple of my friends that are not influencers, you know, they haven't come from Love Island, for example. They're just literally just my mates, but they post consistently. And as I said, one video took off and now he's on like 50K followers.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and I think it's the beauty of it again is, you know, building an organic following. If you start from scratch, you build an organic following where people want to follow you, people will naturally engage with you. I think the difference with me is I was kind of propelled into a following where it's not necessarily people follow you because they enjoy your content, for example. They just follow you because they liked you on a TV show. But then from there, you have to build like a persona, a niche, a brand. Whereas if you start from scratch and build it up, you know, I think in the long term, you will get better engagement. So
how was that for you? Because obviously, as you mentioned, you came from Love Island. So you already had sort of a platform of followers that follow you because of how you were on the show. How did you find your voice afterwards and diversify your content to build your audience further and to branch out?
I think, again, as you said, after being on Love Island, there's only, first of all, there's 24 hours in a day and they show an hour. And of that hour, you probably get 5 minutes, and it could be your best 5 minutes, could be your worst 5 minutes. So for me, and the worst thing is I haven't watched any of it back, so I don't actually know why people like me. But I just assume that it's because I'm funny. You know, people on the street tell me that I'm funny. So I think from there, it's like, you know, just try to make funny content. Just try to be myself, because all I was on the show was myself. I wasn't trying to act like anyone else. So it is quite interesting to see what my followers engage with, because it could be relationship stuff that I get high engagement on. It could be, you know, DIY. I've been renovating my room recently. That gets high engagement. It could be gaming content.
Yep.
You know, so I think for me, it's, you know, just finding little niches. Maybe not, I haven't found like a niche, like a singular thing. You know, I'm not just a fitness guy. I'm not just like a foodie, for example. I do sport, fitness, health, gaming, relationship stuff, DIY. So it is a bit of
all your interests. So you're not pigeonholing yourself. You're actually and around your interests. So that's why it works so well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why, if you see the brands that I've worked with, they are quite diverse. As you said, you know, Stars Play, which is, you know, like a network. There's Bumble, which is dating. There's Deliveroo. I'll tell you what, I get so many food things, and I'm thinking to myself, why do I get so many food things, not that many fashion things, but I think I need to look a little bit cooler on Instagram.
And Nas, interesting question here. So what do you see as the future of, you know, influence marketing, or the future of, like, you know, creators? Because we have something that we have noticed, especially this year, 2020, you know, like the climate change movement, the Black Lives Matters movement, the election in the US, and of course the coronavirus 19. So we notice that creators are more and more trying to create content that has a voice, but also a voice that is typing into these big movements that happened this year. How do you feel that? And have you be involved on this movement with creating content that you are using your voice to acknowledge all this, kind of movement that happened, especially this year?
Yeah, I think it is very important to use your voice on social media. As I think, as you know, coming from reality TV, people expect you, or that there is some form of expectation for you to address things on social media, and some people aren't as comfortable, some people aren't as clued up about it. But if you are, so for example, if and where I am clued up about certain things that are going on, for example, the Black Lives Matter movement, I'll use my voice to try and, you know, like bring it across, bring across what the message is, try to help people understand, because I think even like coming from, obviously I'm not British, so my mum's from Guyana and my dad's from Pakistan, so just kind of letting people in to like a different culture as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you follow me because you want to know about me. I'm very much so, I want to say, a man of the world, in the sense that I'm from London. It's very diverse here. I've traveled to so many different countries, Southeast Asia, Africa, America, etc., etc. So I think those experiences have allowed me, or even like playing football, mixing with different people, it allows you to kind of understand and appreciate different cultures, and kind of, to those that maybe aren't as fortunate to be in like a diverse area, for example, such as London, or maybe people that aren't as clued up about, the culture in, Asia, or the culture here, or the culture there, just to give you that, like, just little snippets, just so that you understand,
Absolutely.
or yeah, basically.
And do you think creators will more and more using their voices to, to acknowledge this movement, and, and be part of their day-to-day content, where you still need to be authentic, to be, true to yourself, but also mixing up, for example, your fun content, where you're making people laugh, but at the same time using your social channels to bring that knowledge and express, your sentiment towards, what's happening in the world? Do you think this is the future, where creators will have to be mixing both type of content to get their, their involvement, and show the audience that they are creating content that is not just related to a brand content or a paid post, but also using for more, like, let's say, a purpose, meaningful content? Do you like envision that is something that will continue to grow, or how do you see that?
I think once you get a big enough platform, where people are kind of looking up to you for any type of purpose, whatever it may be, whatever you're passionate about, it could be climate change, it could be BLM, it could be coronavirus, keeping people positive. I think it is important. And I think people will mix it in with their content, because, as you said, in this day and age, it is difficult to stay, like, I want to say it's difficult to stay quiet, but I think it's important to not stay quiet, depending on whatever your cause may be, or whatever it is that you want to portray. So yeah, I guess they will be mixing content with personal matters, really.
In terms of you and the content that you like to create, what is the, not, I wouldn't say niches, but in terms of the brands you'd like to work with, who are those brands, and what direction would you like to take in the future?
I think for me, I just say I'm very open to all types of brand, all different niches, because I find it really interesting. As I said earlier, once you get the brief, and for example, if it's Bumble, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's a bit weird that Bumble are messaging me because I've got a girlfriend, but I see what they're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? I found it really interesting. I found it, quite fun. Even filming content with my girlfriend, it was quite fun to do stuff like that. And then like doing dances for Stars Play and promoting Power, which is a show that I love to watch, So and then obviously food as well, like getting paid to eat food. So, and like fashion stuff, where you can put your own stamp, your own image, your own style on the clothes that are given.
Yeah.
So I think, I wouldn't say, I can't really specify any particular field or brand that I would love to work in, but I think long term, I want to do a bit more sport, fitness, health related stuff, because, I was at university, got first class honours in sport, health and exercise sciences, was playing football until literally like a year ago. I was basically wanting to go professional playing football. So I'd love to do something to do with sport presenting, or just working with like fitness and sport brands in general. So yeah, that's a goal of mine.
Amazing, Nas. And then I think one question that everyone probably would be very curious to know, how, changing a little bit the subject, but like how and why you joined Love Island, and how was the experience being part of reality TV? Because I'm sure you got this question quite often, like why
Yeah.
did you join a reality show? How did you end up being in the show? And how was the experience? So how was life before Love Island and after Love Island?
Yeah.
So if you can tell our audience a little bit about this experience, because I'm sure they're all gonna love to hear.
It's crazy because it was almost a year ago, and I feel like this year has just flown by because been basically been locked up all year. But I think honestly, the Love Island experience itself was the most unforgettable, amazing experience of my life. It honestly didn't feel like I was on a TV show because everyone around me was so lovely. That goes for like the ITV, producers, like everyone involved backstage. All the other islanders, they were all lovely, very funny, very bubbly, it was like a very like nice bunch. And I really didn't expect that because I don't know, I've watched Love Island before, like a couple of episodes, and I don't know, it just seems like very alpha, very, treading on your toes. And I just felt like, honestly, I didn't feel like it was for me. I didn't apply, I should say. I didn't apply to go on the show. They reached out to me. I put it off. They said, can you come in for an interview at our casting thing in London? And I put it off twice. And then the third time I was like, eventually I just said, all right, I'll come in. Because I just thought to myself, like, they're going to see me. I'm not the typical, like, Love Island, like if you saw me, you wouldn't think, yeah, that guy's got on Love Island. But yeah, they honestly put, like, even when I went there, they were like to me, oh, so why do you want to go on the show? And I said, well, it's cold in England, it's warm in South Africa. I've never been there. I've just finished university, the world's my oyster. And they were like, okay, so not because it could be amazing for your career, not because you could find love. I was like, oh yeah, that would be great as well. But most of all, it's an all-inclusive holiday. Yeah, literally. But yeah, so when they just put so much faith in me, even after that initial interview, I just thought to myself, they're gonna think he really doesn't care about being on the show, like he doesn't want to be here. But they honestly put so much faith in me. They were like, Naz, you're funny. We want you to open the show, this, that, and the other. And I was like, it was just surreal. I genuinely thought like someone was playing a prank on me until I was actually through those villa doors. So.
And they found you through social media, right?
Yeah, they found me on Instagram, which is weird because, so when I asked them, they said to me, we saw you tagged in somewhere. So like, when you go to like Regent Street or somewhere like that, and they just clicked on the geotag and saw who was there, and apparently they came across my profile, and yeah, they took it from there really. So it was quite weird. It was really weird.
It was meant to be, right? I always say,
yeah.
And how was like when you left Love Island, came back to London? How was to face the reality back? How was that transition of like being so exposure into reality TV in South Africa, and then come back into London and say, oh my God, so now everyone knows about me, now everyone knows who I am. So how did you, found about that, this transition? How was it?
It was so surreal for me because prior to going on Love Island, I had 9 pictures or 9 posts on Instagram. I was very low key, kept myself to myself. And then after, everyone's like, oh, is that Naz? Is that Naz? Even at the airport in Cape Town, some guy was like to me, oh my God, are you Naz? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, you look a lot bigger on TV. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, that's not me. It's not me. But it is really nice. People have always got really kind things to say about me. So I'm very grateful to ITV for, the whole process, the way I was portrayed and whatnot. So yeah, no, it is quite.
So there is no regret. So you would do again?
Oh, 100%. 100% I would do it again. I absolutely love my experience. So yeah.
Amazing. And then it's crazy because probably you have grown your account on Instagram a lot, right? From Love Island. So how was the impact on that? So when you just left the house and then you go like, oh my God, now I have, 1,000 more followers on Instagram, and then you realize, okay, now I will have to start creating content and continue to show the world who I am and how fun I am and being that authentic person. So that was when you realize, okay, now I build up that community, so I will follow through this career. It was more like, that rationality that you have when you started putting more content.
Yeah, I think as I said, prior to going on Love Island, I had 1,000 followers, and I came out to like basically 500,000.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, so for me it was like I said, you just get thrown into the limelight. As I said at the start, companies are coming to you saying, "Oh, can you promote this?" I'm there being very robotic, on my phone saying, "Yep, buy this product, do this, do that." But I think for me initially, I wasn't very keen on social media, which sounds quite weird because you people go on Love Island, you're expected to come out with a following, you're expected to do all of this brand stuff. But I think for me, it was genuinely just for the Love Island experience, just because it was offered to me on a plate, just to see what it was like. But as you said, like as a result of that, you have a following, you have to create content, or it's advised to create content as your job. And I'm very grateful to have this platform because during this lockdown period, obviously, like creating content has been a source of income. So yeah, but as you said, like it did take a while for me to get to grips with.
Great. And then Nas, another question for me would be like, we more and more we wanted to work with our clients and our creators like yourself, when it comes to develop campaign, because as I said, like for us being authentic, when it comes to creating content with influencer is the key for every campaign we do, because we really believe that authenticity is what resonates with each individual audience, when you are putting a strategy together of concept and narrative. But something that we have been discussing a lot here, with our team and also with our clients, that would be very interest as the evolution of influencer marketing, to start creating campaigns as a form of co-creation between brand and the talent. Meaning that, so the brand will come to you and say, okay, we have this new product, or you wanted to promote this service, but we wanted you to co-create that campaign together with us, or we want you to be part of the co-creation of this new product. Tell me a little bit about your view on that, on being more, instead of just being the creator, creating content for a brand, but moving a little bit to the other side where you will create the content, but you're going to co-create with the brand the actual strategy, the actual narrative, and perhaps a new product. How do you feel about that, if that comes to happen, if you got an invitation saying, Nas, we have a new brand, a new client, they wanted to create a new product, and we wanted you to join us as an agent, be part of our marketing team, to help with your knowledge of being, authentic and being a great creator, to support us on the developing of this, product. How do you feel about it?
I absolutely love that idea, honestly, because as I said to you, once I get a brief, the first thing I do is, read through it, try to make it my own as much as possible, but also not just for something that I can portray, but it's something that my followers can resonate with as well. So, for example, like cultural stuff. For example, if brands come to me and they say, "Oh, can you promote this?" I'm like, "Sorry, it won't align with like my cultural beliefs, or it won't resonate with my followers because of this particular reason." Like, well, I guess to that extent, I'm kind of co-creating with them, because I'm saying, well, I can take your idea, but I can put a massive spin on it to make it appropriate to my audience. So I've done that multiple times, with KFC, with Deliveroo, and there was another one. So aside from like cultural beliefs, there was a jewelry company, and they wanted to run up a campaign. I said, listen, I know that FIFA 21 is coming out in like the next couple of days, and they wanted to do a giveaway. So I said, don't worry about doing a jewelry giveaway. Do a FIFA 21 giveaway, and it will pop off. It will be amazing for you. Like, 'cause obviously they want followers.
Yeah.
We need engagement and whatnot. And it literally got close to 7,000 like comments. So like the campaign done really well, and they were like, "We're so grateful for your input, your idea. We're always willing to bounce ideas." And I think that's something that I love. Basically having a voice when it comes to creating content as well. Because sometimes I know if I get the brief, I know it's a bit plain, it's a bit bland, or there's something missing that I can offer. which is why I'm always like, oh, should I do this? Should I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And I think this is why MG Empower has been amazing, because every time, for every campaign, I've said to them, can I do this? Or like, would it be appropriate to do this? Or I think I can't do that because it won't resonate with my followers, but can I do this? And you guys have always been like, yes, we love that idea. So yeah, I love the idea of co-creation.
Great. Yeah, this is the power of authenticity, right? That we've been discussing.
Yeah.
I think as much as brands allow creators to be authentic, even if there's a briefing, or allowing creators to co-create a campaign, I think we feel that this is the future of what we're gonna be seeing on influencer marketing. Alex, not sure if you have any other question for Nas, because we can be speaking here for hours, Nas, because we always love to be. This is a great, we love to discuss with creators. We just love to discuss about industry. So I'm just asking Alex if there's any other questions for us to wrap up our conversation.
No, I think we covered everything. I think it was an amazing conversation, and it would add so much value to our audience. Thank you so much.
Nas,
No worries,
it's been a pleasure to have you here, and I'm sure our audience will enjoy this conversation. And once again, always a pleasure to work with you here at Imaging Power. We love working with you. Our clients, Deliveroo, Bumble, Stars Place, they all loved working with you too. And then we have big plans for 2021. And we look forward to continue, seeing your amazing and fun content and working together. Very much grateful for you to be here with us today.
Thank you so much, guys. It was my pleasure. And as you guys said, I'm looking forward to working with you guys again. As I said, you guys are amazing. You guys are so cooperative, so supportive. So yeah, I can't wait to work with you guys again in 2021.
Thank you so much, Nas. Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you to everyone that has joined us today on our third episode of Influencer Marketing Uncover. Thank you so much. Hope you have enjoyed.